Why don't we continue with the IK and FK set? We have done everything now from the switch to moving on to still lecture 8, but then again, we're going to create local global values for the FK system. That means through our blue controllers, if I select my IK, turn it to FK, do the same thing on the other side, okay? There we go, right? If I were to rotate my character, you'll notice that, yes, the rotation is very stiff, right? You see those arms are nice and straight. But with the global values, what you'll have is basically an offset when you rotate your controller, basically following world space. So to get started first, if you follow this tutorial and you follow this rig step by step, take a look at the chest. And if you take a look at the chest right now, you'll notice that we have uneven attribute values right here, which will definitely affect us after. So please be very careful for the chest control group. Just make sure that we select the left and the right FK arms. And don't worry, it's not going to affect anything. Hit Shift P so that it's in world space. Nothing is affected. But now if I were to select my chest area, right, I can freeze transform the chest, right? So if I were to select my chest right now and rotate my chest, it's still working, right? So we don't really have nothing too crazy happening. Then we want to bring back the FK left and right arm, control or shift select the chest controller, and from there, hit the letter P so that now it's clean. And we could get started. So now we have a clean upper group right here, which will not affect these controllers, right? So everything's okay. So select the controller, and why don't we deselect or turn off the display layers for the IK system or the IK joints, right? And I want you to select the logo line script. Click once, select the controller, local line script twice. So let's name the first one local, name the second one global. Okay, so we have local and global. We want to take the local one, control select or shift select the left clavicle. That's the original joint, right? Left clavicle and hit P so that now that local locator could get confusing, right? Local locator, local. I'll stop right now. But the locator is actually inside of that hierarchy now. So if I were to hit F, there it is. There you are, little buddy. All right, so I kind of want to clean it up too, right? So I'm going to use the freeze transform, but sometimes it might not be good because look what happens, right? It kind of steps out of bounds. So that's fine. We'll just keep it. No worry. I didn't say anything. No, I didn't say anything. No, I didn't say anything. Marquee select both locators, right? They're sitting on top of each other. And then control select the left arm group for the FK system, right? Now I want you to go to constraints and select the orient constraint, but before that, open its optional display and make sure that maintain offset is on. So hit apply, right? And we're going to check and see if this works. So we've created an orient constraint that is holding two locators right here, one inside of the body and one outside of the body, right? So here's what this constraint is going to do. I'm going to hit Alt 2 so you can see the mesh. On this constraint, I'm going to turn off the local values by just hitting 0 on that attribute. And what this does basically, if I were to rotate my arm, you'll notice that now we're getting world space values for the FK system, right? And let's keep it right here. And if I were to select my constraint and do vice versa, so 0 tab 1, now local is at a full 1 value, you'll notice that now we're getting that stiffness, right? Just the original basic FK system. And we kind of want to work around like both systems inside of one system. It's the matrix, man. It's the matrix. You follow the white rabbit. Get it? White rabbit. She looks like a white rabbit, but I'll get back to the course. Okay, so I'm going to set my 0 values for the rotation here. And now that we have the constraint, we're going to create a head controller. So select your knee, hit F on the outliner. There's the knee controller, but here's the upper group. Now let's just select this one. I like it with the pivot right here. And hit Control D and hit Shift P. So you made a duplicate, and Shift P, you unparented it. So now we're going to call this one Head CTL GRP, Head Control Group. And for this one, we're going to call it Head CTL, and that's it. Now the next thing I want to do is to phrase transform or use the all script. So just make sure that everything is pivoted correctly. Same thing for the upper group. And I want to snap it to the head, right? So select the head, control select the head control group, and you can also use this align script right here, which is pretty cool. Oh, whoops, sorry about that. It was supposed to work. Oh, there was 2 of them. Oh yeah, that's the duplicate. I'm such an idiot sometimes. All right, so select the head, control select the head control group, and use the align script. Can't see it because if I hit Alt 2 and turn off the mesh, here it is. So now I can scale it up. Right? You know what? That's fine. I want to keep the same pivot. And why don't we just go to Show, Viewport, have the joints not visible. Right? And now have them visible. Joints. There it is. All right, Alt 2, so now I can shape it correctly, because sometimes it interferes with my selection when you have the mesh and the joints together. Of course, you have display layers too, but hey, I'm not a magician, all right? Okay, so I think that's good enough. Yeah, that should be okay. All right, so marquee select, object. So now we have a really nice head controller with clean attributes. We're going to take this head control group, hit Control D, we're going to double group it, right? So remember, we've double grouped a lot of stuff before, and we're going to call this one just group underscore TRS. That's it. It's not really a TRS, but that's fine. I'm going to take the control group, the head control group, control select the new group, and hit P. So that now we have this double grouped, right? Now I can take this double group, shift select the chest controller, and hit the letter P. So that now when we select the chest controller, okay, now we got that going. All right, inside of the head controller, I want you to select it and use an add attribute. You can easily find under modify add attribute, but for this one, we'll just use it right here. And we're going to call this one, so this is the left side, so left underscore, right? I'm going to keep it very short, right? Local global LG underscore arms. Data type will be an enum, and for enum names, that will be local. So we're going to make a switch. And that switch will be, one is local, just like I showed you, and the other one is global, where it follows world space. Too much talking. It's better to show, right? So now we have right here, local, global arms, local, and global. So let's make this work. Select the orient constraints and use the set-driven key, which you still find under animation and key. Right? Remember this? Animation, key, set-driven key. You can also create a shortcut key if you like. Okay. Let's select set. Oh, it was right here. All right, so on the set, now we have 2 strings, right, on this orient constraint. If I select it right here, here are, I call them strings, but you can call them attributes, right? So we already know that one is working, the other one's not working. So we see that local is on 1 and global is on 0. So let's select the head controller, load it as a driver, select its attribute. So when this attribute is on local, this orient constraint with 2 strings selected, because we want to key this one and this one, local should be at 1, global should be at 0. That's the way it works, right? It balances each other. So when 1 is active, key it. Same thing for the other side. Global, select the constraint, and now when it's on global, hit global 1 and 0 for local, because you're turning on global mode, right? Let's key it. We're going to do this really quick again on the other side, right? So that now, when we select our character or the chest controller, now I can rotate my arm and we have global values, right? Pretty cool. And we're going to do the same for the head after, but we'll just do the arms for right now. Okay, so set it to 0. There it is. And why don't we just work with the local values as well. So select local, make sure that it works. All right, let's do the other side real fast. Select the FK controller. There's a lot of things happening here. All right, let's go back here. Create 2 locators. There it is. Let's call this one local. Create another one. Local. This one will be global. Global, local, global, local. I have people skills! Alright, so let's take the local one. That's 2. Boom. Shift select the clavicle. Hit P so that now it's over there. Hit F. So now we have 2 locators, one sitting on top of each other. We also want to select the FK controller for the shoulder. Hit F so you can have it here. Double check and make sure that its upper group is clean. Upper group is clean. That's going to work. Yay! Then select both locators. You see that? That's 1 and that's 2. You can hit F so you can see it. Awesome. So now that both of them are selected, I want you to control select the upper group for the FK arm and add an orient constraint, open its optional display, and make sure that maintain offset is turned on. I'm going fast because we've done it on the other side, right? This should be a time lapse, but you know what? This is a class. Any questions? Okay, perfect. So now we have a new constraint. And that constraint is now on the right side, orient constraint, as you can see. Select the orient constraint. Load it as driven. Select the strings. But just remember that we need to create another attribute, right? One for the right side. So let's do this. Add attribute. And we're going to call it exactly the same, but right. So R underscore LG underscore arms. It'll be an enum type. We start with local. And we replace blue with global. And hit OK. So that now we have, there's a capital L. Why? Why? I don't want to edit anymore. Just make it stop, Gary. Make it stop. Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. You can fix it now. Local. Make it stop. Damn you, filthy animal. Oh, there it is. It works. Local. All right. Capital L. Capital L. All right, let's load the head controller again so we can have the right attribute, right? The right LG arms attribute. So load a driver. Now we have it here. All right, so now it's on local. Select a new orient constraint, selected strings. Just make sure that now we're on local, right? If you select it, The right side is on local, so select the right side. Orient constraint, strings. Make sure that global is turned off. No, I said off. And local is turned on, and key it. Let's do the same thing for global. Global, constraint, strings. Now global is turned on. Local is turned off. And key it. Okay. Let's see how well this works. We're going to close everything. And now we're going to select our head controller and let's have everything global. Now, if you hit Alt-2, Alt-2, there it is. You got it. You got it, dude. All right. Select the head controller, the chest controller, and start to rotate. And now you can clearly see that we have global values for the FK system. All right, that's pretty cool. It helps a lot, especially if you key motion capture on there inside of Maya. This is really going to help you, right? So it's also a basic feature. Most of the rigs have it, so yeah. So global and local. This is the basics of the basics for the FK system, right? And sometimes we want to keep it this way. Really, sometimes we do want to keep it this way. All right, let's select all of our controllers, set it to 0, and that'll be it for the controllers for the arms, right? For local global values. We're going to create some other ones too for the head to finish this class. Actually, well, it's almost finished, but we're also going to create some controllers for the eyes, controllers for the nose, something very, very quick and simple, right? So for the facial expressions, we can use blend shapes. I can just show you how to create 1 or 2 blend shapes and it'll be up to you to create the rest. We're not making an ArtKit 52 blend shape for Unreal Engine or for LightFace or anything like that. All right, but this is just the basics for right now. But I will show you exactly how to create some basic blend shapes. Because, this could last forever. Also, we're going to add a dynamic for the tail, which is actually extremely easy with the new bonus tool, which we will download together forever, but not for right now. Okay, for right now, everything is set. Just make sure to save your work. You can still keep it under, actually, let's keep it under 8. Control-Shift-S. And why don't we just call this one 8? Right, it is lesson 8. And capture a thumbnail. Maybe close to the local global values on the FK arms and the face. And snap shot. Looking good. Okay, so save as. And that'll be it for that. I want to create dynamics, but for that, I will need to add the bonus tool. And to have that bonus tool, you will have to use Maya 2025, which is already built in. You can go to Windows, Setting Preferences, Plugin Manager, and just type bonus on your filter or search tool. So bonus, right? And load it. Now, if you don't have it on your end, you can easily go to Google and type Maya Autodesk bonus tool on this new website called Google. It makes a search based on what you type. It's brand new. I guarantee you it's a new site. Nobody knows about this. But the bonus tool is now available. It is loaded, and now you will see the bonus tool appear right here. And what we could do is actually bring the skeleton back to life. There it is. And I want to select the first joint of my ponytail. We're going to open up the hypergraph and hit F so that we can zoom in on the ponytail. Let's marquee select everything. And let's set that radius to a better display, right? So middle mouse and shift together so you can slide that together. There it is, right? We want to have a clear visual of these joints. And under the bonus tool, we're going to look for the rigging tab. So we don't need this anymore. And we're going to select the first joint right here and the before last joint right there. Right. So you can also take a look at the hypergraph if you like. So you can see my selection, ponytail 3, ponytail 12, and we're going to look for make joints dynamic. And this will have a pop-up, make joints dynamics. We want to keep the single chain to hair and keep the hair stiffness fall off to normal. We're going to keep it as medium and create. Yes, it will change your timeline to play by every frame. So now if you hit play, you now have dynamics. However, it looks like a jiggle, right? So there are a few changes through its attributes that we will modify. If you open up the system preferences right here, and let's play by 24 frames per second, right? You can work on 30 if you like. If I were to hit play again, yeah, it's a lot smoother, but not smooth enough. So what this does, it creates certain functions on your channel box, right? Or your layer editor. And you will have to open up the outliner. So let's open the outliner so you can see it. And this is what it creates, a nucleus node and a new group with an IK handle. And with this IK handle, I want you to take a look at the hair stiffness and maybe put it 0.7. We're going to add more stiffness and more gravity. So we're going to add 30 on hair gravity. And we're going to change the hair solver from nucleus to classic. Right? So now if you hit play, you can see a huge difference from before, right? Now we have a really, really smooth anticipation of the hair. Right, and that will be the dynamics for right now. All right, so let's delete those display layers. Right mouse click and delete layer. And you want to do this for the rest of them. Now, there are plenty of other stuff that we can clean through the character, but for right now, we want to keep everything clean through the outliner and also this display layer box, right? We certainly don't want to get too confused. You will still have the skeleton on display. So we're going to keep the body and skeleton display layer there, right? And I think that's all that we really need for this, for the next lesson, right? You can also check out the viewports. Just make sure that everything is nice and clean through your layout. And we will see you later.